today. Guest star is Colin Shaw, painter, genius, drummer.
Yes. What's up, y'all? How you doing? Frantz here, Frantz and Bill Show. We have a great guest today named Colin Shaw, and he's an artist, and we're gonna do our thing today, man.
All right. So how you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right.
Doing great.
So you're an artist, meaning a painter, is that correct?
That's correct.
And what is your basic style?
I most often do a sort of narrative mixed media style, but I do a lot of different things. Most recently, I switched things up for a show and did totally non-objective, being totally abstract artwork. That was new for me, to do that many canvases, a big show, non-objective.
So when you're using these terminologies, non-objective, allegorical, I think some of us may need to know what those mean.
Are they different styles of painting?
Well, allegorical would just, I guess a blanket definition of that would be, I'm telling a story about a human side of situations, people, something though that everyone could relate to, using a figure or a narrative within my artwork to convey that idea.
Could that be like maybe an expression or something people can see or feel, or something something that they may have experienced?
Well, yeah. When I paint something, whether it be a figure, or several panels that make up a narrative or a story, I'm usually relying on the viewer to identify themselves with it. I, of course, had my own ideas that might relate with my life, but if you were to look at it, for instance, you might see something different.
Okay.
So I try to let the viewer decide really what it means to them.
Okay, well that makes sense. As you can see, we have a couple samples in the background. We have this one's known as what?
Oh, this is one I made a little while ago, 2008. It's called Lover's Eden. It's, the archetypical Adam and Eve, perfect love.
And this is the other picture.
This is one I did for a series of shows, and it's just called Diver, and it's one of my more mixed media pieces where I attached canvas and then used glue to draw the image. Did several washes of paint over it and then back over it with more acrylic paint.
This is a gorgeous painting because it gives me the idea of like almost a purple bronze.
It is, yeah. It really, a lot of these two are best viewed, at a showing or in person to appreciate, the texture, how the drawing rises up off of the surface of the artwork. And, so that's one of those things to get up and around it in person. I think this goes with your shirt really good.
I was just thinking that.
It is for sale.
Purple and bronze.
Right.
Purple and bronze.
Purple and Frantz.
That's why I'm sitting right here, That's cool, huh? Bottoms up. Huh?
I like it when someone tells me a story about my own painting before they know what I meant by it. Then I know that they're really thinking about it and they're really appreciating it, on a personal level.
Well, tell me a story about the Concrete Ocean show you just had.
Brian Peace owns that gallery, and he came to me and my friend Dale Wilkie and said, I want you guys to do a show. So we decided on the Dueling Minds idea. And the idea behind this would be that we would choose a set of titles, and then we would go apart with these titles. We would go our own way, and we would decipher these titles onto canvas with paint, and then come back together and see what the other had done.
I love that approach.
And compare them side to side.
That's great.
Which turned out to be really far out. And Foundation is really a good example. as you can see in the piece, we did very different things, but when they came together, we realized that at the very bottom of Dale's canvas was just a horizontal line of the exact same colors that I had done in my canvas.
Is that the foundation?
You know, it did work out. There were so many little weird associations and, like I said, synchronicities that happened. Another example was the diptych piece that we did, which was called The Right and the Wrong. And when we both came together, they were both the exact same color palettes. They were both green. With little splashes. He used orange and I used copper, which are very similar colors.
Okay.
And in one of his canvases, he had even put a couple of circles that somewhat mimicked my tic-tac-toe kind of theme that was going throughout my more geometric pieces. And that really blew people's mind.
Okay, so they were in sync unknowingly. It was kind of cool.
Yeah,
It sounds cool.
That's channeling.
So, overall, the show went pretty good.
It did. We had a great turnout. We sold many pieces. Someone even bought, they were paired together with our same title, and a couple even bought two of ours together as a pair.
How does it feel to be an artist? Because there's a lot of people out there that are artists and they paint and they do their things, but how does it feel to be an artist who gets to put his stuff in a gallery and make some money?
It's the ultimate high.
Okay.
There's nothing. The things you could compare it to would be jumping out of an airplane, playing a rock show. You know, it's better than the best food you've had. It's better than the best lovemaking you've ever. It's the best. It really is the best.
Hey, it sounds good to me. I kind of feel like I need a drink. You know.
Well, we actually do need to take a break, so we'll take a break and have a drink. Okay, we're going to do the taste test now, and you're going to see that first here is the Bud Light. This one we're going to put always in the green mug. Doesn't that sound good? You probably can't hear it, but I can. It sounds delicious. And in this red and or orange mug, we're going to put Milwaukee's Pride and Joy, the Miller Chiller. Okay, and our anonymous guest, who we'll call Joe, will take a sample test from the first one. We're mixing them up so you don't know which is which. He's obviously blindfolded. Okay, so this is number one. Have a sip. He's very quiet. Here's your palate cleanser. Drip a little bit of water on your jacket, but it shouldn't matter. Okay, here in your hand is the other one, number two, so to speak. Now, can you tell the difference between the first and second one?
Slightly, only because they're in comparison.
Okay. Did you prefer one to the other?
The first one came off better right away.
What do you mean by that?
The beginning of the taste was very good.
Mm-hmm.
The second one, the end of the taste was good and a little sweeter.
Okay.
So I think if I had to prefer one over the other, I would like number one.
Okay, very interesting. Okay, our next contestant, if you will, is Kate. This is number one. Exactly. Now here's number two.
It's really hard to tell them apart. I think this one.
Yes, the one in your right hand, the one you prefer, is the brewer. It is the Milwaukee brew called Miller.
Sweet, that's like $1 cheaper. All right, here we have our third contestant. I'm mixing these up. All right, please try this one.
Okay.
Okay. I like the first one.
I don't know if that was good or bad.
The second one gave me that. It was still good. It was something. I would probably drink if I had nothing else to drink. You know, that was the
Gotcha.
last.
Gotcha. Would you like to know which one you preferred?
Yes.
You preferred the Bud Light Lime, just so you know.
Okay. Bud Light Lime versus Miller Chill. And this is our contestant. I'm gonna feed you your first beer, man. And what you think?
This is the other one.
This is number 2.
Okay. You know, I think I like the second one better.
The
And
second?
I think that one is the Miller.
Yes, it is.
It's got more flavor, and I mean the first one is like sort of like it tastes like Budweiser, and then the aftertaste is lime.
Okay.
Whereas the second one is like it's like champagne almost. And you know, it's more, you can taste the Miller. All right, welcome back to the Bill and Frantz Show. Frantz, what's on your mind?
Man, you know, the hot topics, I've always got to go through some stuff, read a couple articles, and see what we're going to talk about today. The late term abortion banning by the governor of Arizona, Janet Bureau. What do y'all think about that?
You know, I think stuff like that. I guess it would have to really depend on the situation. It's your right, I guess, what you want to do with your body. I know that's gonna a lot of people are gonna hear that and be mad. You know, it's a baby. You know, they can't defend themselves or whatever.
Right.
I personally would have a hard time. You know, if I was a woman late into the pregnancy, having an abortion. You know. There'd have to be, I guess, some kind of really good reason, you know.
Right.
What do you think? I mean, is it going to kill the mother, or, you know?
I guess if it boils down to, in my view, if it boils down to something that's going to harm the mother, maybe the abortion should be allowed. But late term, they're saying that at 20 months, the babies can feel things, can feel the pain and all this stuff. That's what the article said. Me, I guess, my opinion, I agree with it. I mean, I'm not saying that a woman should be able to do what she wants to do with her body. I agree with that too, but when it gets late term, I guess I kind of feel for the baby, especially if the doctors are saying that at 20 weeks the baby feels pain.
I have a little bit of problem with the law telling you what
Drawing
you should.
hard laws, drawing hard lines. I mean, I know that. I mean, that law does say, you know, it does have such things as, well, you know, if the person's in danger of, you know, if they're physically in danger, it's okay to do it, But with these things, there's so many. Every case is unique, and to just have a couple simple, thick lines that say this is good and this is bad and rule it out that way, I think is not realistic or fair to the individual instances. And I think is the more you take away the choice of the woman and the doctor who are consulting, the less choice you give them for people who are far away and not involved making decisions for you, the more problems you're creating.
And who is creating those issues too? Right. Who's bringing that up? Is it the religious right? You know, just because of their religious beliefs, they're trying to draw a hard line, you know, for everyone to abide to because of, you know, what they believe. Mm-hmm. How are they personally invested, you know?
Like, part of me wants to say, cool, because I understand the whole 20 weeks thing and the pain thing. But the other part of me is like, it's still the woman's right. It's her body. Because she knows her financial situation. She knows if she can take care of this child. She knows a lot more than I would know sitting in front of this camera just reading an article. Yeah. And, you know, because there's a lot of other factors that entail having a kid. I mean, because, like you said, the religious right, they're not going to provide no food for this kid. They're not going to provide no clothes or shelter. I mean, their biggest thing is they don't want an abortion to go down. And I'm like, well, you know, it's like I said, it's one of those things in the gray area, man.
You know, there are other choices, rather than just taking the easy way out, backing out. You know.
Well, they would argue it's not the easy way out, certainly.
I know there are a lot of that's true. Yeah. You know, it's a lot more complicated. The real world is, you know, and like all these questions, you know, we're asking, but you know, still.
But once again, we are 3 men.
Right, 3 men, and
we're just 3 men. That's true.
We're 3 men, and we cannot have children, physically on our own. Right. So it's a gray area for me. I mean, some things are yes, some things are no, but it is one of those things.
What's
Well-
the other thing on your mind?
Well, the other thing on my mind is they had an article talking about managers not insuring lunches at places of employment, and I agree with the comment. The managers don't have to ensure that you have lunch. They give you an opportunity to get lunch. If you don't go get lunch,
You're right.
and you decide to hang out and kick it with your friends or talk on your cell phone while your lunch period is going on, and you don't get to eat, and you pass out later on in the day.
I mean, that's the basic idea, and that sounds good on the surface. But once again, there is gray area and stuff like that.
Okay.
Because you know that situation where there's 3 people standing in a row, and someone says, "Who wants to volunteer?" and 2 people step back. I mean, this is the opposite of that. Basically, if you are working at some place where suddenly no one's taking a lunch break, and you say, "I demand my lunch break," you are going to stick out as the person who is less a team player if everyone else is taking that kind of thing. And that pressure, that high pressure situation happens a lot.
I think also as as a leader in the workplace, as a manager, I do think that, and in many situations I've been in, I do think it is your responsibility to recognize, okay, we're halfway through here. These people have been working.
Right.
Everybody take a break.
So you're saying that the manager should ensure that they have lunch?
I think just as a part of his basic job of overseeing these people, he needs to recognize that as part of his responsibilities, it's when to say take a break.
Okay.
Contrary to what people say all the time, we have a responsibility to shareholders. I believe that is not the only responsibility of a company. Or the responsibility of a company isn't just to the shareholders, but also that they make good products and that they treat their workers correctly.
Okay, so they so should they ensure the break, or should they ensure that during the break you get your lunch?
I don't know about you two guys, but when I'm given a chance to stop and eat, I go for it.
I'm hungry right now.
Right. I'm always hungry.
Screw this TV show.
I'm awake.
I've always taken care of my own body.
Right.
If it's time to eat lunch, I eat lunch.
But I must say that this thing about they have to ensure you have the opportunity to take a break, but do you have to ensure they eat is a distraction from the idea, because what they're saying, I mean, what the law really says is you have to provide them with the opportunity, with a break, but if they choose not to do it, that's okay too. And once you give them the opportunity to keep on working through their break, then you are not a good worker if you do take a break. And that's the BS that is worth avoiding.
Right. So when I don't take my break and we're all working together and I fall out, I want you guys to look at me, Colin, Bill. He should have ate lunch. That's why he's laid out on this floor right here now.
Yeah, I mean, if you're at the workplace, you're an adult and you've got to recognize, okay, it's time for me to eat. You're not a baby.
Right.
It's not like your parents eat the rest of your green beans. But there is, like Bill said, there's a real culture in corporate America, in retail too, really, where it's I think they're some of the worst about that. I can't believe some of the shifts that some people work, working for, 12 hours, 18 hours. We have a real problem, I think, in the healthcare industry. How can you be taking care of somebody when you haven't slept and maybe haven't eaten properly, for 12 or 18 hours? Yeah. I mean, you can't be making a good decision.
I totally agree with you. And in the healthcare, doctors they work all the time, and we're expecting them to be accurate.
It's too much.
Okay, well, thank you for watching the Bill and Frantz show, and we had, like we said, we had an excellent guest today, Colin Shaw. He killed it with the painting, and we enjoyed the show, and we know you enjoyed the show. Come back next week for the next show.
Right on.